So as many of you know, yesterday was Groton Fest here in Groton. It is the town's annual harvest festival for those who live elsewhere. I love Groton Fest. I always have. It feels like the best of small town life to me, though Groton Fest itself is not so small anymore. There's now a whole row of food trucks. And this year, one of them was selling iced coffee. Be still, my heart. That has been the major failing of Groton Fest, in my opinion. I love listening to the local bands play their music. I love watching the dance students from all the various dance schools perform in the karate demonstration. I love seeing the kids running around with their giant balloons. I don't even know what they were. I think they were supposed to be swords this year. I love watching them collect swag from all the booths. I love knowing that the Boy Scouts will sell out of root beer. And the Women's Club will sell out of pies because they always do. They never seem to make more. And this year was no different. At our church booth, we gave away little red and white striped bags of popcorn and free face painting, with huge thanks to Greg Reif and my husband, who did all the setup and breakdown and popcorn management, and Jackie Waters on the faces, and she really is an artist. We had these great little stickers designed by Coraline, and our booth was very popular, which made me very happy. I sat under a sign, as I usually do, saying, "The minister is in, all questions welcome." But I realized this year people don't know what to do with me. I think it might be too intimidating. I don't think I'm intimidating, but I think to come up to a random minister and ask a question is just too intimidating. I usually alternate with my husband, who partners up with Greg Baker to give out free advice, which is what is written on the other side of the sign, so we flip it over. But here's the thing, they're way more popular than me now. They have an actual following. One woman came by with like 3 of her friends, and she was obviously so disappointed to see me sitting there. And she asked me, and I quote, "Where are those cute older guys?" I know. We're the ones who give out the funny advice. Oh, I said, they'll be here in a little while, but in the meantime, can I help you with anything? No. I'll just come back later. Those guys are really funny and cute. Did I mention that? You did, I said. I got a couple of questions. One of you told me that her boyfriend really wanted her to eat a pig eyeball at his family's annual pig roast that afternoon. And so the question was, should she do it? My answer, which I stand by, it's okay to want. Michael Preston came through with a great question once again, the only other question I got. He's been doing this since he was about 6 or 7, I think, when he asked me who is the strongest person in the world, which I had to look up, of course. But he's reached the age of really beautiful questions, and this year he asked me, how much is enough? I know, this is such a good question. I'm not even going to try to answer it today. I'm going to do a whole sermon on it. In a culture where we are taught that nothing is ever enough, that more and bigger is always better until our planet teeters on the brink of destruction, how much is enough? that's a question we need to take deeply to heart. But that was it on the questions this year. I got no others. And I have to confess I was feeling a little bit useless in my chair until an older woman came by and we started chatting while the little orange-haired girl she had with her, who looked to be about 5 or 6, was carefully choosing the flavor for her popcorn topping because we had several options. Now, I have the softest spot for ginger-haired kids, no surprise. So we talked about her hair, of course. And we talked about how one of my kids, when he was very little, used to ask me after someone commented once again on his beautiful red hair, whether or not that grown-up knew their colors yet, since it was so obvious to him that his hair was orange, not red. The woman was also a redhead, and so I asked if it ran in the family. Well, it does, she told me, but it's kind of a long and complicated story. Oh, I like long and complicated stories, I said. And so she told me. She told me the story of how she took over the care of this little one from a distant family member. I didn't catch who it was, or maybe she never said, and was now raising her. She told me some of the heartbreaking details about the first year of this child's life. She told me about the ongoing heartbreaking circumstances that led her to adopting that little girl, even though she herself is turning 70. "Did you say you're a minister?" she asked me, pointing to the sign. "I don't think I said, but yes, I am." "Then could you pray for me to stay healthy? She needs me, and she's going to need me for a long time yet." "Yes, I will," I told her. The little girl had finished seasoning her popcorn, and they were about to walk away, and I called out to the woman, "What's your daughter's name?" And the little girl answered herself. "Hope," she said. Hope. My name is Hope. "Wow," I said. "I know," her mother said. And they went on their way. So I decided I'm going to keep sitting at the booth under "The Minister is In" sign, because people may not need to ask me questions, but maybe if I'm lucky, they will need to tell me a long, complicated story. And I need stories like that. I need hope to keep stopping by. I've preached to you about hope so many times in the past 8 years that I can't possibly have anything else to say about it. But then I find that I do, because more and more I have come to believe that hope is utterly central to everything we do here as a community of faith. And I also believe more and more that to choose hope, to embody hope, to act in hope in the times we are living in, is wildly countercultural. Apathy and cynicism and despair are so much easier. And for most of us, maybe all of us, we need community in order to keep choosing hope, to keep believing in hope, to keep acting in hope. It's too hard to do it alone. So I was thinking about, why do I love Groton Fest so much? And I realized it's because the Republican town committee and the Democratic town committee usually have booths side by side. They're not arguing, they're just chatting. I realized it's because every possible cause or issue, every organization is represented. And every age and shape of human being, and even more ages and shapes of dogs, are there, all together in the sun. And we are visiting each other's booths. We are seeing and gathering, tasting and accepting what we all have to offer each other. It feels like the world as it could be. It feels like the world as it needs to be. And that is, of course, the small world we are trying to create here. A world where we practice, because all we can do is practice holding hope for one another. A world where we choose over and over again to be soft, to sing, to tell our truth, to laugh, to cry, to offer a place of belonging for all who come, even when it is not comfortable. We belong to each other. So come, let us be hope for one another.